Many of us live our lives according to a certain mantra. Too many cooks spoil the broth. The more the merrier. Everything happens for a reason. My mantra in life has always been nothing ventured, nothing gained. And it resonates in my mind every time there is a crazy, difficult, seemingly impossible situation that presents itself in front of me. My mantra, nothing ventured, nothing gained, has been with me ever since I was a tree-climbing, playing in the mud handful of a child who, much to my parents' embarrassment, would go to my neighbor's house after having dinner at home and tell them that my parents hadn't fed me, right? So I would sit in their kitchen and I would absorb the smells, the aromas. And that's the first time I fell in love. I fell in love with food. Food was the first language I spoke. It was my first passion. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. Are you guys ready? Once upon a time, okay, I'm just kidding. I need to figure out to get out of mommy mode, right? So let's get comfortable because I am. Seriously. They looked great for 2 minutes. So I grew up in this really small community in India where most dads were engineers and most moms stay-at-home or teachers. Education was paramount here. That's what they had seen. That's what they had done. That's what they thought was the path to success. I, on the other hand, would have this deep sense of relief every time I would get a report card and see that I hadn't flunked that year. All my friends were studying to be doctors or engineers, and if they were really, really working outside the box, a CPA or an accountant. I decided in this environment that it would be a great idea to be a chef. So, the decision made. You have to realize that in a society where it was almost a crime to be a woman, to have an acceptable career was barely tolerable. Over here, I decided to step out of the realm of being acceptable. And I decided to become a chef. I still remember people would come and tell my parents, she's not that dumb. If she studies a little harder, she can be an engineer, right? So, with the blessings of my parents, who said, do whatever you want to, but make sure you are the best at it, I ventured into my first nothing ventured, nothing gained, because I knew that the only way I could gain success was to do something that I was passionate about. And I was passionate about eating, therefore food, therefore cooking, right? So, I did my culinary undergrad in India, and during my undergrad, I got the opportunity to do externships in some of the Indian kitchens. More often than not, I would end up being the only girl in a kitchen of around 50 to 60 men. And what I gained from those ventures into the kitchen was that I figured out how I could hold my own in a profession which was, and still is, mainly male-dominated. I remember just before graduation, I went to one of my culinary instructors, and I asked him which was the best culinary institute in this world to go to. And without batting an eyelid, he said, the Culinary Institute of America. Fantastic. Another decision was made. I could have chosen to stay back in India. I knew how things worked over there. I could have chosen the path which a lot of other girls my age were taking. Study, graduate, have your parents find a nice, suitable boy for you, get married, have babies. Great. But no, I did not only want to be someone's daughter, someone's wife, someone's mother. I wanted those things, but only after I discovered me, right? So I decided that I am going to go to America. Believe you me, at that time, I thought I knew everything about America because I had seen Coming to America and I had read Archie comics. So I remember landing in the US on a cold, wintry day and being driven to the CIA. Oh, before I forget, the CIA is an acronym for Culinary Institute of America. Before you guys think I'm anything cooler than a chef. And it was a wonderful experience. I was under the same roof as 2,000 other people who were as passionate and crazy about food. I graduated at the top of my class. And that's when reality really set in. Even though I had bagged all the awards in my class, nobody would touch me with a 10-foot pole because they didn't want to sponsor my paperwork, my visa. Over here, I got an opportunity which at that time I thought I really didn't want. It was to open an upscale Indian restaurant in South Jersey. After all, I had gone to the CIA. I'm not going to open an Indian restaurant, right? But I ventured down that path, and boy, am I so glad I did that. Because what I gained from that experience was the knowledge of the perception that people had of Indian food. That's where my crusade started of dispelling this entire perception that Indian food is $8.95, all-you-can-eat curries. No, right? Well, my mantra, nothing ventured, nothing gained, has led me to be invited to the White House for the Easter egg roll, has resulted in me being on Food Network, on Iron Chef, on Next Iron Chef, and now a permanent judge on Chopped. It has resulted in me writing a book. So the mantra has served me very, very well. Now, my mantra, nothing ventured, nothing gained, is not only applicable for my professional life, it also has an application in my personal life, right? One of the most rewarding relationships that I have is with my husband, Vivek Deora. And he has the same crazy mantra, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I mean, he went to Southeast Asia, opened restaurants, was awarded the Businessman of the Year by the Indonesian government, opened the first fine dining Indian restaurant in Shanghai. So, when we got a call that how would you like to open a place in Nashville, after quizzically looking at each other, because we were in the mecca of the food world, right? We were living in New York. We decided that we were going to venture to Nashville. And boy, did we fall in love with the culinary scene, with the people, and the sincere opportunity that the city offered to us. So, 2 years back, we opened our first restaurant, Chauhan Ale Masala House. This week, we opened our second restaurant, Tanso. In 2 months, we'll be opening our third restaurant, The Mockingbird. We have a brewery, ironically called Mantra. We have a second brewery opening. So yes, this has served us so well. But this is the reason why I am telling you my story, right? The big idea that I want you guys to walk away with is that you need to venture down different paths. You need to take the opportunity which comes in front of you or create the opportunity, right? I mean, maybe you like writing, but you don't even journal. Maybe you like dancing, but you haven't even explored the different ways that you can be involved in the dance world. So you have to take the risk. Because you take the risks, the rewards are high. I'm going to conclude with a few lines from one of my favorite poems, which when I first recited in the 6th grade, I had no idea what it meant. I only chose it because it was the shortest poem. But I did not realize the impact that poem would have on my life. It did instill in me the core value that if opportunities are not explored, opportunities will not reward us. So, in The Road Not Taken, Robert Frost famously concludes his poem, I shall be telling this ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in the woods, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thank you.